Now I want my phone call.
Here's the direct line to your precious American embassy.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Welcome to Movie Valhalla, where brave movies go to live forever. While there's so many movie podcasts out there that just focus on the negatives and poking fun at lower budgeted movies, we decided we wanted to be a little different here and only dwell on the positives. And we're not going to do the big Hollywood movies. We're going to do the little movies that can, the brave movies, the movies where the directors and actors and set designers and special effects artists really put themselves out there and attempted something daring and different and independent. So those are the movies that deserve to be Movie Valhalla, and those are the movies we're going to talk about. Welcome again, everyone, to another episode of Movie Valhalla, where brave movies go to live forever. This episode, we got a special treat for everyone out there. It's a little chaste, proper movie that some call Werewolf in a Women's Prison. And with me today are two guest stars. I couldn't stop from wanting to watch this movie. And it is got Seth.
Greetings.
And James.
Hello from the prison in Mexico.
It was what was it? It was like Puta Campo?
Campo.
Something, yeah.
Campo, something like that, yeah.
It was one of those like fake places. I guess they didn't want to offend the Mexican people with their depiction of their prison.
Rita, is that any way to treat our new American friends?
She would not shut up.
Remove the ball gag.
Cancun Alita.
But just to give a quick synopsis of Werewolf in a Women's Prison, just in case you can't figure it out from the title, it is I wouldn't say an infamous exploitation movie, although it deserves to be an infamous exploitation movie. It's a very similar plot, I guess, as an homage to American Werewolf in London. A girl is out camping with her boyfriend. Boyfriend gets killed by a werewolf. She kills the werewolf with vodka with silver flakes, as you do. She's bitten, and she wakes up essentially inside a women's prison for the criminally insane in some place that is Mexico, but is legally not Mexico, I guess, for the purpose of the movie. And inside this prison, what are a few things that go on in this prison, James?
Well, a great question.
Viewers can't see, but he has like the biggest smile on his face.
So inside the prison, there are a lot of rats that are scrounging around for any breadcrumb, cheese crumb they can get. It's an all-female prison, and all the guards except for one are male. And the prisoners have to do favors for cigarettes and tequila that looks a lot like urine. So that's a pretty good. Well, I'll say this: the warden is a guy that likes to be in compromising positions with, I guess, the lieutenant warden,
Oh, so you're talking about like being interviewed on Meet the Press or something.
Who, me?
No, like the warden, because since he enjoys compromising positions.
Yes, he does.
He likes being interviewed by infamous hardball interviewer Chris Cuomo. Topical humor.
Topical humor is what we do here on Movie Valhalla.
This will age well in 3 years when Chris Cuomo's working at a car wash and.
Hey man, I used to have my own CNN show. You ever see it? It was cool.
Want to see me do 10 military push-ups? I can do it. I promise.
I do pull-ups, man. You ever do a pull-up? Probably not, because you're a wimp. That's why.
Have you ever been in a women's prison with a werewolf?
Chris Cuomo seems like the kind of guy who say he was in a women's prison with a werewolf. Like, oh yeah,
I killed it
times.
It was definitely a sub-third world prison, I think is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Sub-third world.
Yeah. People in prison in Venezuela would be glad they weren't in this prison in Putumayo or wherever it was. So Seth, tell us a little bit about what happens once our main character, Sarah, gets to the prison. What are some things that happen in a PG version, please? PG-13.
Well, I mean, I think when she first gets to prison, she's outraged, at the fact that she's actually in prison in the first place, right? Because she did nothing. She did nothing wrong, right? She's American. She's
Puna, in a state prison for the criminally insane.
Insane? But I'm not crazy.
Really?
She killed a werewolf to save herself, right? But werewolves apparently don't exist, right?
Well, according to PETA, I think they're like an endangered species, so she deserves to be in prison.
Only squares don't believe in werewolves, man.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw Gwyneth Paltrow with a sign that said, "I'd rather go nude than wear a werewolf." So
she's right. In this movie, she would have been nude.
I think Gwyneth Paltrow in this movie, she'd just be making candles out of her own junk in her prison cell, calling them goop.
Officially called Goop, right?
This prison is sponsored by Goop.
But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Seth. Viewers, Seth is the only one in this episode who isn't drinking copiously, so
yes.
If James and I keep interrupting him laughing, that's why.
Sorry, Seth.
Yeah, go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, it's just an extension of the film for me. It's all entertainment. No, she immediately gets tortured, right? So I think, she's demanding her rights. And then one of the most classic scenes in the film, she goes to get her one phone call. They grant her the one phone call. And so the warden allows her to use his personal phone.
Help yourself, Gringo.
And then she picks up the phone and, alas, shocked.
Hello? Hello?
By the warden and the lieutenant warden as she attempts to make her phone call.
Wait, are you saying you don't have your phone set up to like a personal like taser device? Because that's how I grew up.
And then from that point forward, it's just it's one kind of terrorist or terrorizing scene after another for Sarah. She's beat up or attempted to be beaten up by the prison mates. She's having to defend herself constantly, but she does befriend her cellmate Rachel, and they become kind of kindred spirits, if you will.
Not
for the
Rachel
remainder of the
Friends,
film.
Viewers.
No, but equally good hair, I will say.
Yes,
Equally
and
good
a
hair.
much more
Her hair is really good.
a much more likable character than Rachel from Friends.
Well-
If Rachel from Friends and if Rachel and Phoebe from Friends had a scene like we had in Werewolf in a Women's Prison, that show would have done even better in the ratings, I think.
To be fair, I think every character in this movie is likable than every character on Friends. Just,
Except for Joey. Joey is.
Except for Joey.
Yeah, Joey's our pure person. Joey is.
Well, actually, Joey would have been perfect prison guard in this film.
Hey,
Hey, you want these cigarettes? Come here, I'll show you how to get them. Hey.
How you doing, prison girl?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
What?
All right. Well,
Why's she mad?
let's muscle right ahead. I'll go last to give you guys the treat. So how about all right? How about Seth as the sober one? You get to go first. Who is your favorite character in this movie and why?
Ooh,
that's a tough call. There's quite a few good ones. I'm kind of torn between a couple, but I'm gonna go with the Badger. Because the Badger, I think, really wants to kind of wants to project himself as a Chuck Norris assassin type character, but he's really not. He's kind of the antithesis of like your lethal assassin. He's way overweight. He looks like he spent way too much time at the army surplus store, and he is everything that you would think somebody who spends too much time at an army surplus store would be in this type of movie. But he's basically the character that is assigned to go and take out Sarah the werewolf. Yeah. And he's hired, I should say. Yeah, and the
legendary Badger.
Yeah.
And he does, and in fairness to him, he does actually bring Sarah and Rachel back in when he goes out to capture them and get his bounty upon his return. But things don't end so well for the Badger in the end.
Well, as a commentary, as they don't for any of us. What about, so since this movie is completely self-aware, by the way, viewers,
it is.
This is an exploitation film that sets out to do exactly what it does. I'll probably say that a bunch. But with the Badger, I feel like he's almost a commentary on the typical movie henchman known as the TV tropes thing called the Dragon. So you have like the top bad guy, which would be the warden in this movie, and then the Dragon, like the real threat throughout the movie basically, is the Badger. And so in this movie, you got the Badger too, but you're expecting some giant, super swole rock kind of dude running around the jungle, but instead you get somebody's golf uncle going out there in the forest and shooting people with tranks. And I feel like that's kind of a commentary in a way. They're saying that, they're subverting your expectations by having that guy as the Badger. So,
or maybe like Americans view themselves as Sylvester Stallone.
Oh. Yeah.
But in reality, they're the Badger.
We're really the Badger.
Man, now you're making up a Guardian article right here. Okay.
I'm telling you, they have a receding hairline. They're graying. They're in their mid-50s. They're about 50
You're describing all of us right now.
Well, I'm describing myself right now. But that's the reality. Is like Americans view themselves as this superhero type deal, but really in reality, the Badger, the quote badass in the movie, is really innocuous and not a threat at all. Like no one's scared of the Badger. Who was scared of the Badger? I'm more scared of the dominatrix lieutenant warden than I am of the Badger.
Well, speak for yourself, James. I see myself as Steven Seagal here. I don't know what you're talking about.
as present day Steven Seagal. So I think what you're saying, James, is that Americans are self-image. We think we're Chris Evans, but we're actually more Rich Evans.
Yes, that's dead on. Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Right? And then, so James, how about who's your favorite character in the movie?
Oh man,
the Badger, of course.
Well, I don't. Okay, so this
Sarah,
is
Rachel, Jack, the guards.
This is controversial.
Uh-oh.
My favorite character is the American tourist.
the kind of Badger guy, but not Badger.
Well, there's a scene where there's apparently an American pays to spend some time with one of the with Rachel, one of the prisoners, and just his this is what I like, not necessarily like. This is how I was entertained by him. His look of surprise when the werewolf shows up while he's.
Ah, God, I can't show that.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
While he's badgering Rachel. He's badgering Rachel.
Well, I would say he's more honey badgering Rachel. So.
Yes, and the werewolf shows up and he gives a look of true surprise. I think that was probably some of the best acting in the movie.
Well, you know what? I think that guy, the actor, he didn't know it was a werewolf movie. So when the werewolf costume busts through the door, that's his genuine surprise. He was like, "Oh, I thought it was a different kind of movie."
Yeah, I think I went on the wrong set.
Why am I getting paid? What's going on here?
He didn't know. He didn't know it was a set, Seth. There was hidden cameras. He just thought this is his actual vacation.
I thought that
Am I in an episode of Dateline here?
I'm Chris Hansen. No, I'm a werewolf.
That frame shot of him could totally be Chris Hansen walking in on him.
All right, I'm gonna put that up in the video, but I'm gonna have to cut out. I'm gonna have to just use his head, basically.
Just his face. Yes.
Yeah, viewers, this is a tough movie to have in the podcast, just because I have to leave out about 80% of the movie because it is an exploitation film, and there's almost constant nudity throughout the film.
I didn't like any of it.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, it
was disgusting.
It was pure torture for all straight men involved and all that.
Yes,
they just hated every minute of it.
I didn't like it at all.
But the thing is, that's why it's an exploitation film, though. Most modern quote unquote exploitation films are just some raunchy jokes, and that's about it. And they don't get it, basically. If you go back to the 70s and watch real exploitation films, I mean, they are just like. Go back in time and watch some Rudy Ray Moore films.
Right.
Go back then and watch those just trashy, biker films and things like that. And that's a reason that it's a specific genre. And so in this weird way, Werewolf in a Women's Prison is actually a very clever movie because it hits that genre exactly. They knew, they're not being serious about anything. And
they're not trying to win an Academy Award here.
I don't need no stinking silver bullets.
Absolutely not. And so they set out to make a genre exploitation film, and they succeeded better than anything else I've seen in the post 2000s era, from the 90s, anything. And so that's kind of really why I appreciate it. Oh, and then real quick, so my favorite character, I'm gonna say Jack.
Hey, Pumpkinhead. Relax, Sarah. It's just me, Jack.
Can't be.
Well, a little worse from wear and tear, but yes, it is I. Well...
I always like seeing Jack come back and the really good practical makeup effects on him. Obviously, as everybody noticed as soon as you guys saw it, it's an homage to American Werewolf in London.
You're coming to the end, and I'll be waiting for you on the other side. I'm just here to let you know that it'll be okay.
Okay? I've killed a dozen people.
Oh, yeah. But they were a bunch of assholes.
Right.
Where Jack gets killed, but he keeps coming back to kind of haunt/warn his friend, which in this case is his girlfriend, Sarah, about what she needs to do. So, yeah. I always like seeing him. I just thought he gave a really fun kind of performance in the movie.
Besides, you know what they say. What happens in Kenpuna stays in Kenpuna.
Let's go on to, let's talk about favorite scenes, which again is going to be kind of tough in this movie. If you have a specific favorite scene, you better think of a way to describe it that I can actually put in this review.
I got it. I'm good.
It? All right, go ahead. What you got?
Okay, so there's a scene where Sarah and Rachel are stuck in the desert they're being punished for causing a riot scene in the prison yard. So they are put in what's called the toaster.
Yeah.
And it's basically a desert, and they have water just within reach. But unfortunately, the girls are chained to a rock, so they can't get to the water. So they get very thirsty. They say, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm thirsty. I'm dying of thirst. And there's a camera so that the warden and the lieutenant warden can watch their suffering out in the desert. And so they figure out that, you know what? Sweat is a liquid. And as we all know, any liquid can quench your thirst. So they drink each other's sweat. Because it's not like drinking ocean water at all.
I don't know if I can put that in the video or not.
Well, they're just drinking sweat, Brian.
I can't put a single picture of this in the video. I'm gonna have to like do
No,
like
you can't.
I'm gonna have to do like a stick figures and like.
It's just gonna. Well, I mean, people just can just use their imagination and like, you know, what do you have to do to drink another person's sweat?
Sure.
It's very intimate. I'll say that.
So you know. So here's a part I can actually put in. So how about this? So we're talking about our crazy connections. So Sarah and Rachel go to the toaster because they're out in the desert, right?
Right.
Well, just the other day, Angela Schatz and I were watching The Great Escape, wherein Steve McQueen, every time he's bad, he goes to the.
It's like the hot box or
no. The opposite day. Just like how the opposite of a werewolf is like a their lamb, the opposite of the toaster is the cooler.
The cooler, yeah, he goes the cooler. That's right. You're right. He goes
Steve
the
McQueen
cooler.
The Cooler King. And so this movie, I feel like the toaster is their little homage to Great Escape. You know,
the cooler.
Which is a
cooler. We got the toaster here.
Yes, which is a fantastic movie, by the way. Great Escape.
Yes.
Great
movie.
Really, you know, in the pantheon of prison movies, you know, we got Great Escape in there, we got Shawshank Redemption, we got Story of Ricky, and now we got Werewolf in a Women's Prison.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, I mean, don't forget Lockup now with Sylvester Stallone, or An Innocent Man with Tom Selleck. These are prison.
Honestly, I would actually put Werewolf in a Women's Prison above Lockup.
What?
That wasn't a bad movie, but you tell me, isn't Werewolf in a Women's Prison more entertaining?
Thank you, Seth. Thank you. You need to watch Lockup again, Brian, because there's a mud football scene in Lockup, and it's totally badass.
Okay,
it is good.
I'll check it out.
You need to look at it, man. It's back when Stallone was like still like considered
an actor.
An actor.
Oh, Stallone's great.
A little reputable.
Man, I tell you, Stallone is one of those guys. If you guys seen the thing where Bill that stand-up routine where Bill Burr talks about Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yep.
That like changed my mind about like a lot of stuff about Schwarzenegger. But I feel like you could do the exact same thing with Stallone.
Right.
Stallone is one of those guys that when he does eventually die, there's going to be endless articles and people talking about him forever about how influential he was and how important things he did was.
I mean, Rocky alone.
I mean, just talk about a self-made man, basically.
He won an Academy Award for Rocky, man. I mean, his best picture.
I know.
Well, and that's the thing.
He wrote, directed, acted, did everything.
Since he wrote it, though, all the movie studios were like, well, you can't be Rocky. You know, you can't even speak, basically. So you tell us your script. We'll pay you a bunch of money for your script, and someone else is going to be it. But Stallone held out. He said, I refuse. He said, I will only sell you the script if I get to be the main character for a very reduced rate. And when they finally let him do it, exactly. He won a freaking award for it. Stallone is one of those guys that's a lot smarter than people think he is.
100% agree.
Honestly, like Schwarzenegger, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, Schwarzenegger is way smarter than people think he is.
Schwarzenegger's smart. I mean, he's an intelligent guy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so let's steer our way back to the Werewolf in the Women's Prison.
Jack, wild animal.
Yeah, I know you do that to me, B.
No, Jack, behind you, wild animal.
So that was James's favorite scene. Seth, what was your favorite scene of the movie? PG-13, please.
I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to go, at the end of the film, there's this tense kind of stakeout scene where the werewolf is kind of stalking the warden and the lieutenant warden, and the warden has made silver bullets, but he has wasted them like an idiot, shooting at the werewolf, at the ceiling. And even the lieutenant warden calls out, "Don't shoot at things you can't see."
Let's just clear it up, though. The lieutenant warden, who is a dominatrix, right?
Yes.
Just
See,
a
I wasn't
flat-out
gonna go there.
dominatrix.
Inexplicably, but yes.
Yeah.
So he's down to his last 2 bullets, and they're wondering if the werewolf, if Sarah can come through and the lieutenant warden mentions that, no, she can't come through the ceiling, or can she? And so there's this tense kind of like stalking scene, and the werewolf ends up coming through the ceiling and biting or ripping off the head of the lieutenant warden. And then as the warden tries to escape, he meets his demise as well. So that was a pretty good climactic scene, I thought, for the film.
Yeah, actually pretty well done. It actually had tension, which in a movie this, blatantly, purposefully goofy is hard to have. But they did a good job with the scene, actually.
They did.
So for my favorite scene, I actually really like the first transformation rampage scene. Because up till there, you get the initial scene, which is very fun, up on top of that cliff with the waterfalls and everything, when Sarah first gets bitten. But then when she first transforms in the prison, there's a bunch of really awesome stuff there. First, with the girl trying to attack her, and then it's revealed that all she did was hit Sarah's shedded skin that's sitting on the toilet.
That was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. And then it goes around and just special effects, practical effects out the ass in that scene. Just all kinds of kills and blood effects, and it was just a treat to see. They're so gory, I can't really put very many into our YouTube video. We're going to get demonetized from the entire 13 and a half cents I make on these. But the thing is, that scene was just such a nice showcase, because up till there, you're kind of like, it's just sort of a cheesecake, softcore, Cinemax late at night kind of movie. But then that starts, and you're like, oh, there's an actual huge werewolf suit. There's actual blood effects they put effort into. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Faces get ripped off.
Oh my gosh, it's gruesome and gory, and it's just fun. Basically, this whole movie to me is just really fun. Even the parts that you would think you'd be really uncomfortable because you're like, this is kind of rapey. It's an exploitation film. It's so over the top. It's so ridiculous that it doesn't feel grimy and gross. You feel a lot less like you walked into Harvey Weinstein's office than you walked into, Tom Hanks's, den.
Roger Ailes' office.
Exactly. Yeah. Roger Ailes' office. Yeah, and he just has some blonde woman standing on his desk in a very modest skirt, but she's standing on top of the desk, and he has a mirror under the skirt. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the practical effects in this. I liked how much fun the movie had. I mean, it's weird to say, but I don't know. I guess just because I'm older, I didn't really care that much about the scandalous parts, except the fact they made me laugh. Honestly, just the movie itself, though, it seems like everybody involved in it was having so much fun making it.
So you're saying, Brian, that the 13-year-old boy didn't come out of you in this when you saw this film?
I think that's when the 13-year-old boy comes out of you, Seth. That's when Chris Hansen shows up at your house.
Let's sit and talk about this. Oh, I was talking about if I was a 13-year-old and I was scanning across this on HBO or Cinemax, and it would have been like manna from heaven. It's been like amazing. But watching it as a 38-year-old man, you don't get that same type of surge from it.
I thought you were going to say like pure unadulterated joy.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, it was like I look for different things. Let's just say that. I look for different things. I was looking for like you said, the effects.
Yeah.
The comedic value of it. So yeah, it wasn't all just about the adult scenes.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Well, and then that's the thing. When I first saw this movie a long time ago.
It's me.
werewolf in a woman's prison.
I got it, of course, because I saw the title and the cover, and I was like, this is going to be ridiculous and terrible, and we get to watch it and make fun of it. But then when you start watching it, you realize the whole thing really is a comedy. Like, they're in on it. They know they're making a silly exploitation film, and they just lean right into it and just have fun with it, basically.
Sure.
At no part in this movie do you feel like the actors are ever just sort of thinking, well, I'm too good for this. Oh, no, I can't believe I'm in this. So, wink at the audience. I know this is stupid, don't you? Which is something I kind of can't stand about a lot of modern, quote-unquote exploitation films, is that they wink at the audience too much. Like, letting us know that they know that it's stupid. No. In this, they take it seriously enough to make it still really fun and enjoyable. And you guys saw this movie just flies by. You guys couldn't believe it when we were already an hour through it, and I was like, yeah, we're almost done. And you're like, really? Oh, wow.
There's only 20 minutes left.
Yeah. Although Sarah does call out early on in the movie when I think her boyfriend Matt makes some reference to
Jack,
pardon me, to going to feed the coyotes or something along those lines, and she's like, "That sounds."
It's probably just a woodsy animal.
It sounded a little scary to me.
It's almost like a bad movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there are a couple nods in there. Absolutely, yeah.
The sets, of course, were practical, and the sets were also, hilariously bare bones.
Oh my gosh.
Well, as you would find in any exploitation film, honestly.
Yeah.
The prison yard was just an alleyway in somebody's driveway, maybe.
Garage doors.
Yeah, the prison itself, the unbelievably huge prison hospital that one woman ran through forever, being chased by the werewolf.
Never ending.
Yeah, and then the rest of it just shot out in some gulch down somewhere in Southern California. But
Mexico.
Yeah, of course, Mexico. Yeah,
Mexico.
Campo Putamuna, or wherever it was. It sounds like I'm making fun of it, but really I'm saying what a good job they did hitting the spirit of an exploitation film.
Right.
That's the point. You go as cheap as you can with what you have. You may not have the best actors, but you use them for what they're good at. You have lots of gore, lots of titillation scenes, lots of funny extreme characters with crazy personalities, and you keep it moving fast. And then by the time you're at the end of it, oh, thank goodness. But there's so many movies that are similar to that, but they're boring.
Right.
They have a couple of fun parts, but then the rest of it, their other hour and 10 minutes is a slog. And this movie's not like that. This movie's so much fun.
Well,
I agree.
Like we've said so many times already in this conversation, it's a film that they understood, they knew what they were making, and they stuck to that script literally.
Yeah. Stuck to that script because things on set were very sticky. Yes. So we're actually running a little bit long in this episode. So let's get towards the end, I guess.
All right.
Think about which character you want to give advice as, and try and do their voice or their personality as best you can.
Okay. I think I'm good.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I'll go as Jack.
Oh, dang it! That's what I was gonna do.
Oh no, I can switch it up.
No, you go ahead.
Let me go. All right, no. Let me go as the Badger.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll go as the Badger. Okay, here we go. Hey, don't take this movie too seriously, because if you do, you're just a bonehead, and no one likes a bonehead. And I'm the Badger, and the Badger says, "Take it for what it's worth." The end.
I like it.
Thank you.
Right.
I got mine.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna do Sarah and her advice about her philosophy on life.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So sometimes we have things that take over the control of our bodies, but what I would say is you have to learn how to control that monster. Don't let that monster take over you and everybody else around you, because at the end of the day, inside you have to know who you are. And I know who I am, which is a werewolf.
That sounds exactly like a tampon commercial you would see on Lifetime Network.
That was good.
Don't let the monster inside you take over.
The monster inside you. Oh boy.
And right then we just lost all our female viewership. But
Yeah.
but we already lost them as soon as we started talking about werewolf in a women's prison.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I don't think they're watching this anymore.
Sure. So I'm gonna do okay. My advice is gonna be from Jack. I can't really do Jack's voice. I'm not northern Midwestern enough to do his voice. But I would say Jack would tell you, remember, Honeybean, it's a curse to us all. So just go ahead and end it before it gets too bad. Jack's not a super happy guy being a zombie. But then I'm going to throw in another one, though. I'm going to give some advice from Rachel. And I think Rachel would tell us, whenever you're out in the desert, just remember, all kinds of things can be water. And that's what Rachel would tell us.
Very good, Rachel.
Because Rachel was kind of monotone a little bit. I don't think she was hired for her thespian abilities.
No.
Her hair. She had the hair.
She had great hair.
She did have nice hair. And
Really nice hair.
That's how we all know that we're getting older, as we actually noticed that she had nice hair.
Yes. Yeah. True. Just enough blonde in it.
Just enough.
I think, James, that blonde had a name, and she was her cellmate.
Oh. My bad.
They got to know each other quite well.
All right.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that was Werewolf in a Women's Prison, our rambling review about that movie. Again, it is an excellent exploitation movie. If you have any interest at all in the exploitation genre, this is, I think, the best modern representation of that.
And I'll be waiting for you on the other side. I'm just here to let you know that...
It is a legitimately funny and fun movie, and it also has a good amount of gore for horror fans that actually like gore effects.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
I
of
agree.
course, the scandalous parts are kind of pointless in the day and age of the internet. I mean, who cares about that, honestly, anymore? That's not why you would see a movie like this.
Right.
You see this for, just to have fun, basically. This would be a good party movie. It has enough shocking scenes that it'll have a good effect on your party guests.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Brian, for having me on again.
Thank you,
Always a
Seth.
fun time.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Seth.
Hey, it's always a blast to be with you guys, especially when I'm the one sober one and you guys ramble on and I get to listen to it.
Yeah, we're at like 33. We're like at 33 minutes. I don't know how we talked this long.
It doesn't feel like it.
I was looking at the timer and I was like, oh god, I gotta edit all this. Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well,
It's pretty late here, so get some sleep. Thanks for being on. Everybody out there in Valhalla land, keep watching those brave films. Find stuff you love and love it without any embarrassment. Just like someone who actually rents Werewolf at a Women's Prison and has to actually take it up to the Blockbuster desk and talk to the person there and see the judgment in their eyes. But you did it anyway because you believe in yourself.
Hey, I would have
All right.
rented that movie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.